Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. In our today's lecture, we are going to learn about a third reduction technique, which is assembling. In our previous lecture, we have learned about a numerosity reduction technique, which is a histogram and clustering. So let's start with the third technique, which is a sampling. So sampling is used in a preliminary investigation as well as a final analysis of data. Sampling technique is used to select a subset of data to be analyzed. Obtaining the entire set of data of interest is too expensive or time consuming. So sampling means, suppose as shown in figure, it is said that these are the data set. This is a population. This is a complete data set. Need only So for analysis, sampling said that rather than taking the whole data, we are just choosing a sample of the data so that we can analyze on that sample data. Suppose we know that there are multiple persons are here, so we are choosing this only one person from one types of populations. Yes, so these are the one pink this pink images are of the one type or the same type, so we are choosing only the some samples from that. Suppose we are taking two samples from that. Here some blue types of peoples are also there, so from that we are choosing only one samples. From other data sets, we are just choosing a sample. We are just taking one sample data set from that, so that in our data set each and every types of data is also there, and the data size will also less. So that is why the sampling is used. Okay, so in short we can say that sampling means we are just choosing one samples from different types of samples from whole data set, and that sample data is chosen for the analysis. This is the work of sampling. Because if we are analyzing on whole data set, it is a very time consuming. Yes, and it also takes a computation, and that computation is too expensive also. So for that we are choosing a samples from that, create a small data set. So on that small data set, it contains each and every attributes on that small data sets that contains on the large data set, so that our analysis can't be affected, and it can be done in a less time. So that is why sampling is used. So this is how the sampling is done. Suppose this is a whole data set. Yes, from that we are choosing only a few samples, and that sample is chosen as our data sets. It has many techniques. Sampling has a main 4 techniques, which is simple random sampling, sampling without replacement, sampling with replacement, and stratified sampling. So let's start with the first. First is a simple random sampling. So there is an equal probability of selecting any particular item. Yes, suppose this is a whole data set. So in the simple random sampling, first we define the size of the data. Suppose our size of the data set is 3. Yes, so we are choosing 3 random samples from the data set. Suppose we have a data size. Suppose we have a data set size n equals to 5. So by using this simple random sampling, we are choosing a random sample. Suppose this is a 1 sample, this is a 2, this is a 3, sorry, this is a 3, this is a 4, yes, and this is a 5. I choose it randomly. We are just choosing randomly the data samples from the data sets, until the defined size limit is reached. So this is a simple random sampling. The next is a sampling without replacement and sampling with replacement. So we'll learn this both technique simultaneously. So a sampling without replacement means as each item is selected, it is removed from the population. And in the sampling with replacement, The object selected for the sample is not removed from the population. In this technique, the same object may be selected multiple times. So let's understand with the figure. Okay, so this is one technique and this is the second technique. The first technique is sampling without replacement and the second is sampling with replacement. So suppose this is a raw data. Now let's start with the sampling without replacement. Suppose I choose the blue in this bucket. Yes. So when I choose this blue data, I removed it from the data set. Now we have only this data items. Then after I choose this and put it on the bucket. After putting it on the bucket, I also removed this from the data set. Now we have only this numbers of data items. Now I choose this, then after I remove this from the data set. So this is how sampling without replacement is worked. The purpose of this technique is, if I chosen one data set from that data set, this data samples will never repeated again. So that is why we are removing this data sample from the main data sets. That is why we are because we are choosing it randomly, so the data will not repeat it. So that is why this technique is used here. Now the second technique is sampling with replacement. In the sampling with replacement, we are not removing the data sample once we select. Suppose we select a blue first, then after I choose a white, then after I choose this pink, then I again choose the blue, because we are not removing it from the that data set. So I can choose this multiple times. So in this technique, the data sets are duplicated. The data set may be repeated. So in the sampling without replacement, we select the data points from the raw data and we remove that sample from the raw data. While in the sampling with replacement, we are choosing the data samples from raw data and we are not deleting the data samples, so that it may possible that the samples is repeated again. So that is a sampling with replacement and without replacement. Fourth is a stratified sampling. The data is split into the partitions and samples are drawn from each partitions randomly. Suppose we have a data samples like this. Yes. So from that we are just grouping the same data into clusters. So first we are doing the clustering. On the clustering, we all the same related data are in the one cluster. Yes, and from that cluster now we are choosing the one data sample, so that each samples is different and the data from each cluster is also selected in the new created data sample. So here there are three types of data: white, blue and green. So first we are grouping that data into clusters. Yes, and now we just choose one representative of that cluster into the analyzed data set. So we are choosing the one sample from each cluster. So this is how stratified sampling works. Yes, so this is how sample is selected. Now at the end we are with the help of sampling, the data size will be reduced so that we can easily analyze the data set. Also the computation time is also less than we analyze the data on the whole data set. So this is how sampling is worked. Now the next topic is data mining primitives and languages and system architectures. We already learned this data mining task primitives in our previous lectures. Data mining task primitives are task relevant data, the kinds of knowledge to be mined, background knowledge, interestingness measures, and presentation and visualization of discovered pattern. So this topic is we already learned, so I will just skip here. Next topic is discretization. Discretization technique can be used to divide the range of continuous attributes into the intervals. Numerous continuous attribute values are replaced by a small interval labels. Dividing the range of attributes into the interval would reduce the numbers of values for a given attributes, given continuous attribute. So actual data value may be replaced by the interval label. Suppose we have data of 1 to 100. So these are the continuous data sets. So we are just dividing the data set into the intervals like 1 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15. Yes. So we are not writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We just write 1 to 5. This is a one range. Second range is 5 to 10. Third range is 10 to 15. We are replacing the continuous data sets with the intervals, with the interval labels. So that is done with the discretization techniques. That is called the discretization. In the discretization, the concept is concept hierarchies. So the amounts of data may be reduced using the concept hierarchies. The low-level detailed data may be represented by the higher level of data. So how we can visualize the data? So suppose we have a data value of age, and the age is, for example, 35. We already in the discretization we already defined the intervals, like if age is of 1 to 25, then it is a young. 25 to 40, then it is a middle age, and 40 to above, then it is a senior age. Yes, so we already defined the intervals in the discretization. Now in the concept hierarchies, we have a data values. So a data value is a detailed data set. Yes, this is called the detailed data, and the detailed data is also called the low level data. So we are replacing that low level data to the higher level data representation. The higher level data representation means intervals that we already defined. That intervals is called the higher level data. So here the age is 35. We already defined if the age is between 25 to 40, then it is a middle age. So there now we replace the age 35 with the middle interval value. So that is done with the concept hierarchies. So concept hierarchy can be automatically generated based on the numbers of distinct value per attributes in the given attribute sets. The attribute with the most distinct value is placed at the lowest level of the hierarchies. Here we are creating the hierarchies. So country, then state, then city, and the street. The data which has the most distinct values are placed at the lowest level. We all know that the values of street is larger than the city. So the street is at the lowest level than the city. Now we all know that state contains many cities. So in the under of states, city is defined. So city has the second level. Now states are of. Now the country contains many numbers of states. So now state is defined under the country. Define the country level. So this is how concept hierarchy is created. Suppose country has a 15 distinct values, state has a 65, city has a 3567, and street has a 6,74,339. So the most distinct values are at the lowest level, and the least distinct value are at the higher level. So this is how concept hierarchy is created. Different methods for discretization and concept hierarchy generation for numeric data are binning, histogram analysis, and cluster analysis, entropy-based discretization, and segmentation by natural partitioning. Now we all know what is a binning, histogram analysis, and clustering, because that we already learned in our previous lecture. The fourth technique is entropy-based discretization. So in the entropy-based discretization, we are just counting the entropy value with the help of this equation. And based on that entropy, we are partitioning the data sets. So for counting the entropy value, where S is the sample, if S is a partition into the two intervals like S1 and S2, using the boundary T, the entropy equation is like this. So this is not important for our syllabus. If you want to use the entropy based discretization technique, then we just have to use this equation and put all our numeric data into that equation so that we can find the entropy and the boundary that minimize the entropy function, or all possible boundaries is selected by binary discretization. The process is recursively applied to partitioning the obtain until some stopping criteria is met. And how many times we are repeating this process? So the stopping criteria is entropy of S minus entropy of T comma S is greater than delta. Here delta is also defined in the numeric data. So experiment shows that it may reduce the size and improve the classification accuracy. In our syllabus, there are no sums of entropy-based discretization, so we just remember the equation for the entropy-based discretization. Next is segmentation by natural partitioning. So the segmentation by natural partitioning has been done with the 3-4-5 rule. It can be done and 3-4-5 rule can be used to segment the numeric data into the relatively uniform natural intervals. So how it can be done? So if the interval covers 3, 6, 7, 9 distinct value at the most significant digits, the partitioning the range into the 3 equal weight intervals. Now suppose our data value is 3, 7, 6 or 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so now the most significant digit is 3 and 6. So now our most significant digit is 3 and 6. So we'll see the rule that if interval covers 3, 6, 9, 7 as the most significant digits, then partitioning the range into the 3 equi-weight intervals. Okay, so now we are partitioning our data sets into the 3 different partitions. If it covers 2, 4, 8 distinct value at the most significant digits, then partitioning the range into the 4 intervals. And if it is 1, 5, 10, then partitioning into the 5 intervals. So based on the most significant digits, we are partitioning the data into the 3, 4, 5 intervals. So that is why it is called the 3, 4, 5 rules. So by using that, we can also partitioning our data sets. This is how we can done the partitioning. So this is the last concept of chapter number 4. In this chapter, we have learned many things like why preprocessed data, the data cleaning technique like missing value, noisy data, data integration and transformation. Data reduction techniques are data cube aggregation, dimensionality reduction, data compression, numericity reduction. In the numericity reduction, we also learned 3 major techniques like clustering, histogram, sampling, and then learn data discretization and hierarchies. Yes, so this data mining task primitives. So that things we'll learn in this chapter. From next lecture, we'll start the chapter number 5.